As the resident rhythm game enjoyer, I've had my eye on Dead as Disco ever since its announcement. It's a game that oozes style and tries to carve out a spot in the rhythm beat 'em up genre, alongside games like No Straight Roads and Hi-Fi Rush. While the idea isn't new, it has come with varying degrees of success. Blending a rhythm game, a genre that demands precision, with a beat 'em up, a genre that often rewards mashing, is a difficult task. So, can Dead as Disco stay on beat, or is it out of step? Talk about these elements separately, but since this game isn't particularly deep on narrative, we can cover it alongside the gameplay. You play as Charlie Disco, a fallen icon and drummer who was betrayed and presumed dead. After making a deal, he has one night to take back his ex-bandmates and bring the band back together. To be completely honest, the narrative is mostly window dressing. If you ask too many questions, you're not going to get profound answers. It's there to get you into the boss fights and help you learn the mechanics. That said, the bosses are pretty fun for the most part. You have Hemlock, the punk rocker turned corporate sellout after cashing in on Charlie's hit song. Dax, an emo rocker who traded his humanity for power, literally becoming a machine forced to play forever as a battery. Aurora, a pop idol AI who has essentially become a god. And finally Prophet, the music manager who now specializes in ending careers instead of building them. 4 boss rush levels don't sound like much, and may not be all the game offers, but they aren't the main attraction. Still, they're worth talking about. Each boss is distinct, but they follow a familiar formula. You enter an arena, clear out some goons, deal with the gimmick section, like reflecting comets or dodging cars, and then the real fight begins. Even then, there are multiple phases, usually 3 as you wear the boss down. Occasionally, other enemies interfere, but they're more of a distraction than a real threat. Enemy variety isn't huge, but it's enough to keep you engaged. Some shoot lasers, some require dodging, some are easy to counter, and others hit harder than standard fodder. My main issue with the bosses is their length. I don't expect quick fights, but at times you feel more like an annoying mosquito than a martial arts disco man. On its own, that's manageable. Combined with the checkpoint system, though, it can get frustrating if you keep dying. I haven't tried easy mode, but normal can be challenging on a first run. Hard gets trickier, but it's manageable with practice. Outside of that, the fights are solid. Earlier, I mentioned that some games in this genre struggle because they don't fully commit to the rhythm aspect. Specifically, they don't reward staying on beat. Dead as Disco doesn't have that problem. You can mash buttons and attack off beat, but everything improves when you stay in rhythm. Dodging gives you a stronger follow-up, counters deal more damage, and attacks hit harder. Some mechanics even require you to stay on beat to reflect attacks or avoid damage. That level of commitment to the genre is appreciated. Now for the main event, free play. The game offers a solid selection of music, much of it tied to the bosses. It still sounds great outside of those encounters. You can either survive through a full track or take on challenge runs that involve movement constraints, specific attack types, or defeating certain enemies. It's decent, though not especially inspired. The strong gameplay and diverse music selection help carry it. The standout feature is the ability to add your own music. Unfortunately, I couldn't properly test this. On Linux, the game doesn't easily access my music folder. After some effort, I gave up. There may be a workaround, but right now it doesn't seem viable for Linux users. Visually, the game is as stylish as its music. It uses bold colors without becoming overwhelming or hard to read. From menus to character designs, everything clearly aims for a strong visual identity. Prophet stands out in particular, with a design that evolves across fight phases. Occasionally, you'll notice some janky animations, but they're rare. The bigger issue is that standard enemies feel under-designed, almost like they belong in a different game. Dead as Disco commits to being a rhythm beat-em-up in ways many others don't. It actively rewards staying on beat instead of letting players mash through encounters. The boss fights are distinct and enjoyable, even if they overstay their welcome. The music is strong, and the visual style is undeniable. That said, it's not without flaws. The Linux implementation of custom music is essentially unusable. Some animations lack polish, and enemy design outside of bosses is underwhelming. Still, if you want a rhythm game that actually makes you feel the beat while throwing hands, this delivers. Just make sure your platform supports everything before jumping in.